Welcome to Gamescom.
Fantastic. New trailers all access.
In Batman Arkham City, we've just revealed here at Gamescom that we have Mr. Freeze in the game. We're really excited about Freeze. He's a different type of character. You know, he's a much more sympathetic guy who's just had a bad day once, and you know, something happened to his wife, and now he's this kind of much more intelligent villain who Batman has to fight in a much more cerebral way. We have many more villains in the game that we're not going to talk about, but we're really excited. We've got, you know, Two-Face, we've got Mr. Freeze, we've got Penguin, Catwoman, we've got Harley Quinn, we've got Joker, we've got Hugo Strange. We've tried to get every single villain that's really going to help us tell the most exciting Batman story.
Yes, I like it.
Creative transition that we as a studio undertook from Batman Arkham Asylum into Batman Arkham City was really driven by the desire to offer gamers an experience that not only genuinely made them feel like Batman, but gave you a sense of unparalleled navigational freedom. You know, the experience of Arkham Asylum was very focused, very tight, very kind of claustrophobic and intense. In Arkham City, it's all about this huge, expansive game world. But our objective wasn't to make the biggest open game world ever, it was to make the most detailed open game world ever. The design of the combat in Batman Arkham Asylum, I think, was kind of like a really awesome first step in terms of the design of that system. In Batman Arkham City, we wanted to really evolve every aspect of Batman's combat, his navigation, forensics, crime scene investigation. So when we looked at combat and we thought about how can we make this even better, we also looked at the enemies that Batman's taking on. So we've really beefed up the AI, the ability of thugs to coordinate their attacks and take on Batman with double or triple simultaneous counters. We've integrated Batman's gadgetry into his combat so you can quick select the Bat Claw or Combat Gel or the Wreck and still maintain your combo chain. There's a whole load of new combat features that have gone in, and if you thought Arkham Asylum combat felt good, Arkham City just blows it out of the water.
We want to make the best use of the characters that we can. So we look at a character we want to bring into the game, one that we think really helps make Batman feel like Batman. So like we said, we got Freeze. We wanted to make a unique version of Freeze that really fits into our universe. So, you know, we've beefed up the suit a bit, but we've kept the fragile core at the center of his being, if you like. Everyone knows who Penguin is, but we just didn't want that kind of regular Penguin kind of guy in. Also, we know that a lot of people wouldn't have bought into that when they were playing our kind of game, this much more gritty game. One thing is, obviously, we've made him more of this kind of Cockney gangster kind of figure. We also thought, you know, the monocle doesn't really fit, you know, this century, so how are we going to, you know, keep that look, keep people recognizing him? And the answer was just, we'll stick a broken beer bottle in his eye. Still the Penguin, but there's a much more violent edge to it.
Welcome to hell!
We have, you know, the Joker as well. He's one of the main protagonists, but also he's not working with, as such, Hugo Strange, but Hugo Strange runs Arkham City. In the first game, it was all about Joker. Now it's all about all of the villains and what they would do when they get in Arkham City.
The game world of Arkham City, I mean, it's about 5 times bigger than Arkham Island. It feels very different. That sense of navigational freedom, right from the beginning of the game, you can go anywhere you want. You know, that was a feeling that Arkham Asylum couldn't have offered simply because of the way that the game was built and designed and structured. For me, it's more about the emotional sense that you get in this game world. It just feels bigger. It feels more free. It feels more expansive. The level of detail is still there, and that's, I think, what's really going to hit players the hardest when they glide through the streets of Arkham City. That very emotional impact that this game world gives you. Getting into fights, building up experience, and using that experience to unlock new abilities is a big part of the progression structure of the game. In addition to that, the way that gadgets unlock and become available, and even the way that Batman kind of MacGyver's gadgets on the fly in Arkham City that he hasn't already pre-designed, is a part of the game as well. So, you know, there's narrative drivers, there's experienced drivers. Definitely the sense of building up your arsenal is a really great feeling within Arkham City. I'm really, really proud to see that all have come together. So gamers who have played both games, I think, are really going to dig that the most. I mean, our focus has always been to make the ultimate Batman experience. So when we were thinking about different modes, obviously the idea of co-op came up, multiplayer came up, but our objective really was to deliver a sense of, you know, being the Dark Knight on the streets of Gotham. That was our #1 objective. So adding Catwoman as a playable character that we announced at E3 adds this whole new dimension to the game, because as a criminal you can explore Gotham, or the streets of Gotham in Arkham City from a criminal's perspective, and you can also do things that Batman can't do, go places that Batman can't get into. And so the game changes control between Catwoman and Batman. And I think this is probably the best way to tell multiple stories, rather than getting into a co-op situation where the game focus then shifts away from that tight narrative, that very Batman-focused narrative. And you know, we've also added Robin as a playable character in the challenge maps as well. He's got his own gadgets, his own combat system, his own navigation system. So playing between Batman, Catwoman, and Robin feels really, really different between the three. So I think gamers are really going to love that.
Heads and tails, kitty cat.
The big announcements that we're making is not just that the game is in 3D on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and PC, but also we're really delving into the third piece of the puzzle. You know, we've talked a lot about the first two, that being the main game, the 25 hours to take down all the villains, taking that up to 40 hours with all the side missions in the kind of second piece of the puzzle. On top of that, we've got the challenge mode. We established that in Arkham Asylum, but in Batman Arkham City, we are just taking that to the next level. We've got multiple different kind of segments within the challenge modes, ranked maps. We've got a campaign mode, which has you playing 3 maps back to back using difficulty modifiers, and then we've got custom maps on top of that as well. Coming out this October 21st here in Europe, the 18th in the US, on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and PC.